Okay, so we're going to start this webinar. Hi everyone, welcome to this department spotlight about internship career in cognitive science. So we're just going to do a quick introductions. I am Pingyi, I am a fourth year transfer student and my major is psychology and economics, or the peer consultant here at SARC and UCI. And here is my colleague Libni.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a good morning. As Pinny mentioned, my name is Libni. I'm a fourth year here at UCI, and I am majoring in psychology in the School of Social Sciences and European Studies in the School of Humanities.
Thank you.
So we're going to begin with the basic question. What are you going to do with a cognitive science degree? I think it's important to establish that our degree doesn't determine our career path. So we can keep that in mind. In the next slide, we will have a couple interesting facts. So we have John Rubin, who is a television producer, director, and screenwriter. As you can tell, not much to do with cognitive science. But we also have Lara Borodinsky, and she is a cognitive scientist and professor in the fields of language and cognition. She is actually one of the main contributors to the theory of linguistic relativity. Got a nice variety there.
So, well, I want to kind of begin by talking about what cognitive science major is. I'm sure many of you already know, probably like if you already chose this major or thinking about this major. So it's a pretty interdisciplinary degree that talks and in-depthly explore how cognitive processes works. And this major can be covering in different kinds of areas like biology and psychology, computer science. It covers over neuroscience, linguistic, mathematics, anthropology, and philosophy. It touch base in different departments, and so that students can better understand how cognition works. And it also can be better learned and engaged in research to work with faculty members on a different specific projects or in different kinds of research labs. And I kind of want to talk a bit more like if you think cognitive science is the right fit for you. I'm sure many of you probably have the thought come through your mind sometime like, am I doing the right thing? Is this major really something that would work for me? Is it the best fit for me? So I would say that it's definitely a very, very interesting subject, and it could be a great fit for you if you find yourself wondering kind of like what drives people to think, behave, and communicate in certain ways. And through your study, you want to explore how, for example, to use artificial intelligence or how to compute and to advance our ability to develop and to share information. And furthermore, if you want to wonder like, what is the career path, or like, what can I use this degree to possibly apply for the future jobs? So you might want to know like what you can do with it. So this degree path is it can help with very strong writing skills. It can provide you with research analytical thinking skills that can provide undergrads or grad students to pursue jobs in related fields such as software development or marketing, medical research, healthcare management, game design, education, or many other possible careers. Just like the TV directors. So it just has like such interdisciplinary approach, and it has emphasized on problem solving and critical thinking skills. So I would say it can make you very well rounded, and to have you to be able to go into further like fields such as healthcare, business, law, psychology, and education, or academia overall. So here are some of the career exploration toolkits that I kind of wanted to talk about. If you ever found yourself not necessarily just in cognitive science, but in any areas you want to know what kind of career is there for me, what kind of like things that like what kind of a career have like a bright outlook, for example, like what's the salary averagely, how to choose a major that leads to that career. Here are the several websites that I found very handful, and for you to kind of like just break things down, I can quickly show some of the sites. So here is Focus to Career from UCI's DCP, Division of Career Pathway. It's a pretty well-designed and self-paced, like a planning assessment tool. And if you start with this, it can provide you different informations like a career assessment to know more about yourself and what you're interested in, and their information about occupations, and just kind of like comparison and how to like plan a career. And it gives you more directions. So this link that we're going to is of like choosing major. That's kind of like the beginning before you determines if you want this major or not. I think this is pretty helpful to like understand that you have to like know yourself more and then like research the careers. And sometimes it's like a trial and error in the beginning, when you're not really sure if this is the career that you want. You can do plenty of research on it and to gain experience, not necessarily through classes. Sometimes you can, by gaining experience about this career through, let's say, internship or volunteer experience and research, to know more about the possible career outlook for yourself. And also it's important to know that major does not equal to career. You might pursue any kinds of career with each of the majors. The skills and experience will be also just as important as your majors to impact your career options. So, and then we also have like Explore Health Career and ONET. I really like ONET. It gives a very systematic like ways to overview like kind of what is there and what's like the bright outlook. I would say it's like it's a great website to navigate. It might be a little bit overwhelming at first because there is like a lot of information. But if you search like cognitive science, for example, it will kind of show you like different things that you can do with it that are related. If you change the wording a bit differently, it will also like show you different things. So those are a summary of the career exploration tools that I recommend. I will send them in a link in a bit as well. And here are some tools that I would recommend to find a job or internship. So first we have the Handshake for students. Many people that I've heard find jobs through handshakes after they graduate. It's great, designed for the undergraduates to connect with the job. A lot of people also find jobs through LinkedIn. So we also have webinars that talk about how to build your LinkedIn profile and how to use LinkedIn to find a job. And if you're interested, definitely come by and join that. We also have an SARC internship database that I want to show you as well. We provide different internship in different fields. And there's also Glassdoor, Indeed, and also the career fair is really important to attend as well. You can get to talk to different booths, different employees, and get to know more about the hiring process, about what the company does and stuff, and also just to network in general. So to kind of like expand on the networking part, so if you want to ask for a job, sometimes it's actually important to ask the employers directly. You can do the research and you can do the networking part and you share whatever you have and you just send like a follow-up. You can do this in career fair or even without. I would say definitely practice with it beforehand. And we also have like a workshop about how to network, about how to get an internship, about how to do resume and cover letters. So feel free to check that out as well. Also, sometimes you never know, you can use and expand the circle of your connections and you might get some internships without thinking that it's actually possible. One time I ran into a girl that I used to know from class, and then she just offered me these opportunities And I just connected with her and send the supervisor an email, and then it wasn't that big of a hassle if you have someone that you know that can recommend you or refer you.
Thank you, Bumi. I'll go ahead and begin. How exactly do you prepare for a job or internship? It's always helpful to have the basics down, which would be a resume and a cover letter. This is a sample of how a resume looks like. As you can see, we have our important sections, which are our education, professional experience, as well as curricular experience or research. It's important to be involved because in the end, it will serve as a type of skill that you can develop and that you can offer to your employers. So this is basically how it looks like. It's a formal layout. Obviously, it doesn't have to look exactly like this, but overall, as we can see, the dates are important. The emphasis on where and you were able to gain this experience is important. Then we can go ahead and move on to the next slide. This is a sample cover letter. It has usually 3 important parts to the body of the cover letter, but sometimes it can have up to 4. Depends how much you want to express in regards to this career interest. Very formal. Also on our Stark database, we do have a couple of resources you can use if you need help to create one. And then if I can go ahead and share my screen, Penny, for one. So we want to talk about a little bit how you can gain this interview experience. And this is a very helpful flyer that can get you to that point. So this is an informational interview where you connect with professionals. This can be faculty, this can be graduate students, this can be researchers, and you have an interview with them so you can kind of know how it is when you will actually have an interview for a job opportunity. You want to connect with your contacts, and then you want to prepare for your interview by collecting some research and, as I mentioned before, having a resume. This falls under your basic steps. And then some of these are suggested questions you can ask to your interviewer that will help the conversation flow. And so this is one thing that we will be providing afterwards in an email so you can have. Another thing I want to talk about is the Anteater network. As Pinyi mentioned, it is important to have those connections, but if for some reason we are lacking, we can go ahead and join the Anteater network where we become connected with professionals such as faculty or grad students or alumni or UC alumni. I went ahead and created an account just a couple minutes ago, and as I was answering the questions, it automatically created this message for me to send out to this person who has interest in what I am thinking about doing in the future. And so they already customized this message ready for me to go ahead and send in case you're hesitating or in case you're wondering how it is you form this message to connect with other professionals. So it's definitely something you can give a try if you don't already have one. Something else I want to introduce is LinkedIn. I'm not quite sure how many of you have one, but if you do, that's great. It's important to stay engaged with this account so that you can have as many opportunities or job opportunities that you want. And this is the basic layout of it. As you can see, you have a My Network options. I don't have one yet because I just started as well. You have a jobs tab where you can tag places that you are interested in. So for example, cognitive science, you're interested in working at a research lab or in some other type of department, you can go ahead and tag those so you can get some feedback from these places. Okay, so that was the end of this. And then Pinyi, can you pull up the slides again? Oh, thank you. Okay. So if you're interested in developing your resume a little bit more, or your cover letter, or just simply finding out more about your career, we have the Division of Career Pathways that will certainly tailor the or help you tailor a path according to what it is you're desiring or what you're interested in. And we also have SARC, the Social Science Academic Resource Center. If you schedule a consultation with us, you can learn more about what you can do with this major, and you can also get some help to boost your resume and your cover letter and prepare for interviews, because we also hold those as well. We have mock interviews that you can have with Carissa or Patrick. So thank you for your time. If we have any questions or comments or concerns, please feel free to put them in the chat box and we will address them accordingly. I did notice Carissa included a comment on the chat box about a virtual spring career fair coming up. This would be an excellent opportunity for you to network. Thank you, Carissa.
Maybe perhaps since we have some time, or as we're waiting for questions to come in, perhaps one of you can log into career, focus your career, and maybe look into some of the careers that are listed on there.
Yeah, sure. That sounds like an idea. Let me just give me 1 second and I'll be doing that as well. Oh, and I also want to kind of go over the Occupational Outlook Handbook as well. I think that one is also really interesting. So for, let me share screen. So this is the focus to career. I just logged in with my UCI ID. So this is a pretty easy, like intuitive, like platform, and it gives you like, are my career ready? And then there's like tests that you can do. For example, there are like work interest assessment, value assessment, personality assessment, skills, and leisure. And then by doing those, you will be better understand about yourself. And then this one, it's like my career ready is like testing like your professional skills as well. And there's the explore the possibilities, like what can I do with a major in this? Explore any occupation, explore occupation by job family, and then just like compare two occupations side by side. I think these are very helpful tools for you to like explore how the career and education that can like connect. And here's the take actions, where you can have a roadmap of your like career and development activities, like what you can do. And then I can save some occupations and majors that I've saved, and then you can have that like just to kind of compare with. So I'm going to go back to here to explore the possibilities. So for example, what can I do with a major in this? So we can just search, for example, cognitive science. And here are the things that would relate to this major. And then in the side, they have like a bright outlook saying like if this career is growing. So here are some of this job. So for example, if I want to do computer system or human factor psychologist, I can click on that and it talks about what they do, like a debrief of the overviews. And then sometime it would tell you like you need to have a master's degree or doctorate degree in like IOPsych or in like this and that like degree in order to be able to apply for this position. And here are some of this job task and the work interest profile, to show like who are the people that usually like what kind of like your interests to leads to this position, or better to work for people that are in this field. And you can take this test in like the previous page where they talk about like what are your work interests. So here's in the skills, And what's really important to note is that cognitive science, since it's very interdisciplinary and that it can be very heavily like research based, it definitely helps to have skills from having this major to understand like how to reason, how to like write professionally, how to like have analytical and critical decisions makings and such as that. And here's some of the values and work conditions for this one. And here are the education requirements for this major. Okay, so that is the occupation. That is the explore occupations with a major in UC Irvine. And then you can also compare two occupations side by side, kind of similarly, just like if you want to choose something that you've saved. For example, we can search. Actually, I'm just going to like kind of show like you can just compare two of the careers and then just kind of have an outlook of that. And then that is the focus to career. I think it's a different, very useful tools. I recommend to play around with it whenever you have time, just to plan out your occupation and see, do a bit of research on that. Do we have any more questions?
I have a question for you, Penny. Since you are studying psychology, what do you intend to do with a cog sci major?
So I am studying psychology under the Department of Cognitive Science. Although it is a little bit different than cognitive science, I would say we probably have a lot less focus on like computational aspect to it and the data science, mathematics. But I would say that there are definitely some overlaps. And personally, I really enjoy the course that I'm studying. And I was thinking to go into either with human resource management, as well as like just like kind of touch base with IO Psych or interactive design, like UX UI side of the psychology. And I think those are really interesting. I definitely think there's a lot more you can do with the major like this. It's very well rounded, and a lot of time you can apply to things that you probably don't even think that it could be possible to be used. I would say having experiences in the fields that you're interested in is really important, kind of to head into that field as well. So yeah, that's my personal interest.
Awesome, thank you.
So someone asking if we can send the slides. We can definitely send the slides. And yes, there's going to be recordings and we'll have like links on the slides as well. It will be after the meeting. Thank you, that's a good question. Do we have any more questions?
And just to add to that, Penny, knowing that the School of Social Sciences, the largest department is cognitive sciences. So that's pretty cool. And also just want to like reaffirm what you said is that psychology and cognitive science is such a well-rounded major or just majors that you could honestly pretty much go into any type of field or any type of career. It's such a great major that it touches a lot of aspects of various careers. So you picked a good one.
Thank you. Yes, I think sometimes it's like people going to cognitive science because that they're interested in like how the brain works. Like, you know, the recent news we see Elon Musk developed like the Neuralink where they can connect our brain to a computer and just kind of show images or have like chimpanzees to like play games with their brain. And I think that's really cool. And we wouldn't be able to do that without the amount of research that there go in to cognitive science, to psychology, to like how human and the computer interact, for example. So there's definitely a lot you can do in the technology world as well as in academia. And it's like important not to limit your options like just into one small career, and sometimes not to put like all your egg in one basket. It's important and kind of just like go out of your radius and search, and you might never know that you actually would be enjoying this field as that you didn't really expect going to with the major. If there's anything else, anyone want to ask a question, feel free to leave a comment or raise hand. But yes, that is our overview about cognitive science and the career options.
I guess we can go ahead and close out the session today. Sounds good.
Thank you for coming, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.